Hello everyone and welcome to this year's 2025 Metal Olympics. My name is Carson.
I'm Zoran.
And we are your commentators for today. Off of the warm-up section, we see brass wrapping up the reflective athletic tape, and this will allow for the judges to properly check the elongation of each contender. To comply with ASTM regulations, each team will be judged using this laser extensometer to properly track how far each bar is elongated.
Here you can see the brass and the vice grips, and here's the stress strain curve, which is what we'll be using to measure our materials today.
At this point in our material, we start to see a lot of necking going on, and as we pan over to the stress strain curve, we see a big drop off, meaning that the material has failed and has reached its max capacity.
All right, and here we have our steel competitor today. He is all set up and ready to go. The test has already been started, as you can tell by the stress strain curve. And
we expect steel to perform very well in this test. Steel is our returning champion and has previously shown to be a really solid contender. We're getting very close to a material failure here with all this necking, and boom, there's our break. Let's pan over to the stress strain curve and we see a huge drop off right there indicating that our material has failed. Let's get an instant replay on that failure.
All right, there's no doubt about it. This steel is definitely about to break. You can hear it and you can see it, and the camera shakes. Had the whole arena shaking as well. Now here we have the judges taking out the steel competitor after finishing his event, and here we have them measuring just to make sure the laser extensometer measured the same amount. This is just a double check to make sure there's no cheating going on.
It looks like the calipers from the judges are showing consistent values with the extensometer, showing fair play on all ends from our steel contestant today. Now that we've wrapped up verifying Team Steel, we can head on over to our brass contestant and see what they have going on.
Here we have the brass competitor getting measured. You can really tell by that middle that he really gave it all that he had. Alrighty, now we're going to go to the final results. Here we can see the actual performance by each of the materials. As you can tell, the steel did in fact win it all, with the brass getting second.
Moving over to our engineering stress and strain curves, these compare the materials' stresses to their initial condition and their initial diameter. And what we see here is consistent with what we see in true stress and true strain, and that is that steel is our winner with the highest ultimate tensile strength, and then brass and aluminum coming in a close third.
Alrighty, and here we see the metrics of how each material was tested. We can see steel takes the elastic modulus, yield stress, and ultimate tensile strength categories, but brass beats out aluminum in the elongation and reduction of area, placing brass in second and aluminum in third.
Thank you all for attending this year's 2025 Metal Olympics. We hope to see you again next year.